Thank you for attending this pre-departure meeting for your Portrait of Italy tour. I'm Regina Cross. I'm the director of the Spartan Pathways Travel Program. And just a little bit before we get started, just want to mention, if maybe some of you have seen this, but there is going to be at 2:20 an emergency test that's going to take place. So if you could either put your phones, if you have your cell phone near you, if you could put that on airplane mode, that will probably stop it from disrupting, or just make sure that you're on mute during the presentation. That way there won't be a lot of disruption. So, okay. So just another thing too, I want to mention the travel directory, that our online travel directory. So that directory is there for you to learn about your fellow travelers. You'll obviously have an opportunity to get to know everyone once you're on the tour, but if you want to read a little bit about each other, you can do that on the travel directory. I've sent you instructions on how to access it. If you have any trouble, please let me know, and we can assist you with that. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started and introduce you to your MSU host, Deanna Gast. She has worked at University Advancement for a while now, and she is the director of, oh gosh, I had it here, gift planning. That's what it is. And she works under our department and University Advancement. So, Deanna, if you'd like to say a few words.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Regina. I'm very excited to be going on this trip with all of you. This is going to be great. Kathy Four, who's on here, is going to be my sidekick throughout this. This is going to be a fun trip. I don't know if any of you have been to Italy before. I was there a couple of years ago, and you're going to really enjoy it if you haven't. And we'll make sure to be here for anything that you need. I sent out an email Monday night that you should have all gotten with my contact information. It has my cell phone number on it. So I look forward to seeing you all next week again in person.
Great. Thank you, Deanna. Okay, we have two representatives from Odysseys Unlimited. We have Cheryl Mosaic and also Martina Spitzer, and they're going to go over the itinerary and just give you some tips and things that are good to know. So take it away.
Thanks so much, Regina, and welcome everyone. It's great to see you all. Do we have folks who have traveled previously with Odysseys and Michigan State? Any past travelers? Great. Well, welcome back. And for those who haven't traveled with us previously, welcome. We're thrilled that you're going to Italy with us. And yes, that is just next week, Regina. Yes, it is. The trip is coming up quickly. Very exciting. You have so many highlights, so many things to look forward to. I'm just going to mention a couple of them here. You have 3 days on the Amalfi Coast, including a cruise along the coastline and a full-day tour of Pompeii. You will visit Monte Cassino, which is the site of an abbey that figured quite prominently in World War II in a battle. You will, of course, be in Rome and be doing extensive sightseeing in Rome at St. Peter's Square, the Sistine Chapel, the Colosseum, the Forum. You will enjoy time in pastoral, beautiful, lush green Umbria, touring the medieval hill towns of Orvieto and Assisi. And while in Orvieto, you'll get to participate in an Italian cooking demonstration. You'll explore the beautiful Tuscany region, visiting San Gimignano, Siena, and Florence. And conclude the tour with a 2-night stay in Venice, which is a highlight for everyone, I think. So this tour features 3-night stays in beautiful, intimate, small hotels in Amalfi and in Tuscany and in Umbria. So you have lots to look forward to. It's a very full, very comprehensive itinerary, but you'll have some nice built-in time for having a little downtime, a little relaxation. There are 21 of you on the tour, including your host, Deanna. And most of you are doing the tour with us on an air-inclusive basis. So you've purchased both flights and the land tour with us. About half of you are extending in Venice, and that's great. You'll have a ball in Venice. It's, as I said, it's a tour highlight. Your tour director is a woman named Elizabeth Serio, and she has been leading tours for about 15 years. She speaks multiple languages, and she has degrees in sociology and in social work. And I think you'll enjoy Elizabeth. She'll be with you for the entire duration of the tour. On September 21st, you should have received an email from Odysseys Unlimited with attached in the email all of the final documents for the trip. As well, those documents are open on the portal, on the Odysseys Unlimited guest portal. Also on the 21st of September, we sent you in the mail, regular mail, your name badges and your luggage tags. So you've probably gotten them by now. We want to stress that you really spend some time, and I know the fall is a busy time of year for everybody, but you should time out in your schedule and spend some time really going through these documents. There's a lot of information there on the guest portal. So your final documents included your list of accommodation, list of tour members, a detailed day-by-day itinerary, something we call a general information document, which actually has a lot of very specific information about Italy. A document called COVID travel considerations, also important information for you to review. Documents about tipping, guidelines, luggage restrictions, a reading list, and sort of a very hefty document called practical travel tips, which is it's a kind of a lengthy document, but it's got a ton of useful information in there. So be sure to spend some time going through all of this. And there's one document in particular that we want to call your attention to, and that is called Essential Tour Information. And it's just a little 2-page document, which was part of this suite of documents that we sent out to you. And it's a 2-pager, and it has some key information. You want to keep it at hand. You may want to print it out and stick it in your bag as well. We're going to email this to you again 3 days before the tour departs, so you'll have it in your email. And again, there's handy information, the name of your tour director, as well as the Odysseys toll-free number, and also our after hours emergency phone line. So for evenings and weekends when the office is closed. So you want to have those phone numbers and that information handy. So just do pay attention to that little 2-pager called Essential Tour Information. Quickly about COVID, and COVID unfortunately is still out there, and in fact has had a little bit of a surge in this late summer, early fall. All of you are vaccinated. You know that you were required to be vaccinated to join the tour. We are still recommending that folks bring their CDC issued COVID vaccination card, which you will probably not need. But it's a good thing to have, only because, the situation is kind of fluid and changing. People also often keep a copy of that in their, in a little wallet inside their mobile phone. That's also a handy way to have your COVID vaccine card. We don't require any testing for you before you actually depart for the tour, but we do recommend that you take a rapid antigen test before you leave, like 24 hours or so prior to departing, just to make sure everything is clear. The Italian government does not require COVID-19 testing for entry. There is no visa required to enter Italy, and nor does the government have an insurance requirement. So you don't need to show proof of travel insurance, which was often the case when traveling during the peak of the pandemic. However, all of that said, we, Michigan State and Odysseys, strongly recommend that you have travel protection insurance. If you do become delayed, needing to quarantine, if you do get COVID, you incur extra expenses, you will need to accrue those receipts and submit them for coverage if you have a travel protection plan. So we strongly recommend that you have that, and you can, there's still time to purchase that before you leave. Pretty simple as far as entering Italy. You'll have your passport, which is valid for at least 6 months after you return home. That's really about it. Airline recommendations, everyone's favorite topic. We strongly recommend that you complete a check-in before you depart, 24 hours prior, through an airline app on your cell phone, or on the airline website on your desktop computer. Go through those steps and do the check-in process, and make sure that the airline has contact information for you. Your cell phone number, your email address, in case there are last-minute changes, they'll be able to get a message over to you. We are recommending ample check-in time. And by that, we are suggesting 3 to 4 hours prior checking in, which sounds like a long time, but given the volume of travelers in the airports today, and all of the steps that you be taking, you need the time. If there are last-minute changes, you will need time, extra time. So you really should allow between 3 and 4 hours check-in time. With the tour operator issued airline tickets, sometimes you have to wait until you check in to actually get your seat assignments. Sometimes you can get them in advance. It just depends. If you do encounter a flight change or a cancellation and you are in transit, then you will need to go directly to the airline and work with the airline to reaccommodate you on the next flight to get to your destination. So they will give you, they will take your existing reservation, your existing ticket, and do whatever they need to do to rebook you on that existing ticket to get you to where you need to go. At that point, we would appreciate if you could contact Odysseys Unlimited and just let us know what the change is and when your new flight and your new arrival time, and we will make sure that everyone connected with the tour, all of our people on the ground in Italy know of your new flight. Let's see. So as I said, as far as reaching us, there is the after hours phone number, and that is on the essential tour information document. When you arrive in Naples, you will want to look for an Odysseys Unlimited representative holding a sign which has our logo, and our Odysseys logo is sort of a silhouetted bird in flight. So you want to keep an eye out for that. Don't worry if for some reason you don't see the person holding that sign. They will find you, because our transfer people will not be leaving the airport without all of the people and all of the baggage for all of the people on our list. So so you'll collect your bags, and then you'll go through customs, and you'll look for the Odysseys Unlimited representative, and they will tell you what to do with your luggage, and where to board the motor coach. It's then about a 40, actually, I'm sorry, it's about an hour and a half or so transfer, depending on traffic conditions, out to your hotel on the Amalfi Coast, which is where you will be starting your tour. I just wanted to mention a couple of things about the current travel environment, and we have communicated with you by email in the preceding months. about the fact that everywhere, all countries are still facing, the effects of the worldwide pandemic. And there have been significant numbers of travelers visiting countries like Italy and all the European countries. So everyone has been pretty stretched, and we're just asking that people can be aware of this and travel with an open mind and a sort of a flexible mindset, and just to expect that there may be some last minute tweaks to your itinerary. Elizabeth may feel necessary to arrange an earlier start on a particular day, for example, so that you can get to a site earlier than normally we would, so that we can avoid crowded conditions, that sort of thing. So we're just asking people to be sort of open-minded and flexible, and expect that timings may change a little bit. And as well, our motor coach may drop you off at maybe a location which is not quite as close to the venue as we normally would be. Again, there are a lot of travelers, and Italy is such a wonderful place to visit, as you will see, and a lot of people want to go there, especially after the years when we could not travel. Just a few, general health and safety protocols. You're not required to wear masks on your flights. However, we are strongly recommending that you do wear medical grade masks on your domestic flights and on your international flights, and while you are transiting through the airports. I mean, this really does help and make a difference. So please wear masks, and bring a supply of masks with you as well, because the situation on the ground could change as well. So you want to have some masks, and it's a good idea also to bring a couple of rapid antigen tests with you. Those can come in handy. You might be feeling a little bit under the weather, so it might be a cold, it might be an allergy. So you want to eliminate the possibility of COVID, and having a test can certainly help with that. Our tour director will certainly be able to help you get testing if you need to have testing. Please keep her informed if you're not feeling well. Please let her know. I mean, each person is really responsible for their own health, and she'll be able to give you guidance, and tell you how to proceed if you're feeling under the weather. Let's see. Otherwise, we're just, asking that people do the normal sort of, hand sanitizers and covering sneezes, and, just the normal things that we do, and we'll try to all stay healthy. The weather should be lovely. It's normally lovely at this time of year in Italy. You can certainly go online and check out some of the weather, the websites, and see what conditions are looking like. There should be temps in the 60s and 70s, so it's kind of like perfect traveling weather. Rain is always a possibility, so we do recommend that you bring an umbrella and maybe a little rain jacket. And probably the single most important item you could bring with you will be your footwear, and make sure you have very comfortable, well broken in shoes that give good support that you'll need. You'll be on your feet a lot and moving around, oftentimes at sites of ruins and over uneven ground. So footwear is important. There is the clothing, the dress code is casual. There's no dressy clothing or formal clothing, anything like that. Sometimes people like to bring a little nicer outfit for the welcome dinner and maybe the farewell dinner. But your best approach is to have clothing that you can layer, sort of, light to medium weight clothing, and you can layer as it gets maybe a little cooler in the evening. I always like to use a sort of a neutral color palette, and you can just mix and match your clothes and not have to worry about anything. The hotels will have laundry, so will offer laundry services, which you can pay to have laundry done in a pinch. You can always do that. Do bring a bathing suit and sunglasses, sunblock, a sun hat, so some sun protection, and Elizabeth will let you know if there are any clothing restrictions at any of the sites we visit, any of the religious sites. She'll inform you of that in advance. So, you know, whether you need to keep your legs covered or keep your shoulders covered. We strongly recommend that you don't bring expensive jewelry with you, or any valuables that you don't need on the trip, you leave at home. It just makes life so very much simpler. You should carry all of your documents, and of course any money, your passport, anything should be in your personal carry-on, not in checked bags. So don't put anything valuable in your checked luggage. Any medications should be in your carry-on. Another thing to sort of be aware of, another difference, is that not all of the hotels in Italy offer all of the amenities that we're used to in the US as far as hotel amenities. So they might not offer things like hair conditioner, lotions, washcloths, Kleenex tissues, kind of some of the things that we think are basic. A bathrobe may not be offered at the Italian hotels. It's just not their standard of service. So just be aware of that, and you may want to just stick a few of those things in your bag. It's good to have a little medicine kit with you too, just with a few things that, you know, the ibuprofen and maybe the Imodium, and, you know, whatever else, you know, might be good to have. Of course, you'll be able to get these things. You'll be in, you know, populated areas and cities, but it's if you need them, it's nice to have them with you. Let's see, what else? Just a couple of notes about money considerations. So we always say, you know, pay in the local currency, which is the euro. You don't need to obtain any euro before the trip. You don't need to bring any with you. There will be ample opportunities to get euro once you land, once you are in Italy. And of course, Elizabeth will tell you where ATMs can be found, and that's the easiest way to, you know, obtain your funds throughout the trip, is through ATM machines, and they are found throughout Italy. You will need a 4 to 6 digit numeric PIN to access, to use your ATM card. So you may just want to check that out with your bank before you leave and make sure you have a PIN that works. And also worth finding out, do you have a daily withdrawal limit? That's just a good thing to know. Major credit cards are widely accepted as well in Italy. Just be aware, you know, there will be service charges charged by credit card companies. But it's a good idea to contact your bank before you leave and just let them know that you'll be traveling, so that they don't see some withdrawals and, you know, end up freezing your account or something like that. Another thing, you should get into the habit when you check into your hotels. You should put everything in the safe, and by everything I mean mainly your passport, your extra credit card or cards. So you don't need to carry all your credit cards with you. You may not need to carry your ATM card with you around every day, if you're going to be taking money out every couple of days. Just use the room safe and put all of these items in the room safe, and just bring with you what you will need, a little bit of cash and maybe a credit card, and you should be fine. And then the only other thing to remember is that when you check out of the hotel, you will need to remember to empty the room safe and get your valuables out of the room safe. But Elizabeth, I'm sure, will be reminding you of all of this. Tipping for your tour, it's included for your porters, your dining room servers, your local guides, your bus drivers. Tipping is all included except for the tour director, and tour director tipping is really at personal discretion. We do give you a guideline for that. I think it's $10 to $15 per person per day. So you can plan on that. And again, it's up to you as far as how you want to handle it. The tipping for the tour director, all other tipping is included. Food and water are safe. Water is safe to drink. We'll be providing you with bottled water throughout the trip. It's also nice to bring a water bottle and you can refill that, and very easy to do. What else? What else? Maybe we can pause and take a few questions, Regina. What do people, it's a lot of information. Do people have questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Oh, Mary? Yep.
You're muted. You'll have to unmute yourself, Mary. Uh-oh, where'd she go? Oh, there you are.
Is it now? Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, I'm on my phone. For some reason, it didn't come up on my laptop, but I was reading about not wearing shorts in restaurants, also like not being able to go into the cathedrals and so on with bare legs or sandals. Is that still accurate?
Well, again, I would say Martina can weigh in on this, but I would say take direction from Elizabeth. She will brief you each day on what guidelines for the following day, based on the weather forecast, based on what restrictions there may be. I'm guessing from what I've read and what I've seen in Italy, with the numbers of it's very hard to enforce these requirements, these clothing requirements. We would say, we definitely want to pay attention to them and abide by them, but they may be changing. It may be changing. Elizabeth will be able to give you good, direction on that. Martina, do you have anything to add on that?
Just I do have a little bit. So the last time I was in Italy, and admittedly it was pre-COVID, it was right before COVID, it was in 2019. They were strict about covering your shoulders and covering your knees going into all of the religious sites. So I would recommend to have a scarf or have like a light cardigan or something in your just in your day pack, that you can keep it on the motor coach when you're in between travel. But as of 2019, yes, that was still a strict requirement. I can vouch for it because we had to buy scarves outside in Venice so that my kids could cover their shoulders and their knees. So as of then, it was still enforced, and I do believe that is still the case. I've heard, through my kids, the TikTok stars who are getting caught on some of these trips not being appropriately dressed for some of the venues that they're visiting. So okay. I would plan for that to be the case.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good, I meant to mention, it's a good, if you have a little day pack, it's very handy to have a day pack to stick a water bottle in, stick that extra little sweater or umbrella or whatever you need in your day pack, and have your arms be free. Very handy to have with you. That might be your carry-on, or it might be just a little bag that you fold up and put in your checked luggage and use on a daily basis.
Cheryl and Martina, do you know if all the hotels have free Wi-Fi or any Wi-Fi available?
I believe I think they all have Wi-Fi, complimentary Wi-Fi. I'm pretty sure. Hold on just a second.
Your accommodations list that was in your final travel documents actually lists all of the amenities at all of the hotels, so it will also be listed there.
They all have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And what I can also mention is, typically when you visit some of the larger cities in foreign countries, there are a lot of pickpocketers. So
Mm.
really, secure your valuables, if you have some kind of pack that you could put under. I wouldn't leave a wallet in a back pocket. You want to try, and because sometimes what they'll do is one person will distract you while the other one's pickpocketing you. So it can happen very easily without you even knowing. So it's important that you really try and put your cash and your credit cards somewhere where they can't reach.
Yeah, and that's why that's also ties into why we leave the bulk of your valuables in the room safe. Don't carry them around with you. Just, take what you need for the day. One credit card, a little bit of cash.
Any other
Question.
Yes.
So what you're saying is you can trust the room safe then?
Typically,
Yeah.
As much as you can, but I mean, you're emphasizing that. So therefore, then we should have confidence that wouldn't be compromised necessarily.
Yeah, in all my years, I haven't heard anyone that's had an issue with hotel safes.
Thank you.
Sometimes the safe is, if it isn't a room safe, sometimes there's a safe at the front desk, and you can put valuables there in the safe that's located at the central front desk.
So you actually would hand it over to a front desk person?
Yeah, they'll go through a whole procedure of putting it in the safe and,
All right.
sign. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
I have a question.
sure.
We got some seat assignments on our flight that we don't really want. Should we try to get them changed ahead of time or wait until we check in Detroit?
You could go either way at this point. Because we are so close to the departure, it is something that you would have to do with the airlines. Odysseys at this point wouldn't be able to change any seat assignments.
Okay.
So you can try to do it online if you go on to, or on your, the app for the airline if you want to try to do it directly with them, or you can wait until you get to the airport. I mean, I would say that the earlier you try, probably the better odds you'll get of better seat assignments. But the one thing to note is that our tickets are tour operator tickets. So there are limitations in terms of what the airlines will allow us to select for you for seats. So you may not be able to make any changes, but if you do want to try, that conversation would have to be between you and the airline at this point. And just one addition onto that is if you are working with the airlines to potentially pay for a seat assignment. So for example, if you were looking at working directly with them for an upgrade or for an exit row or a bulkhead rate, like one of those more desirable seating locations, again, that's going to be a transaction between you and the airlines. If there are any changes to your itinerary or cancellations, Odysseys would not be able to assist on getting that same class of seat for you. So just something to know if you are in a position where you are changing your seat assignments and paying for those more desirable seats.
Okay, yeah, no, we just want to change them, but in economy, we're in economy. We just want to sit together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I would try on the airline website. And at this point, you have your final e-tickets, which include your record locator. So you should be able to see your flights online, and hopefully you'll be able to make those adjustments.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and just to clarify that once we get to the airport in Detroit, we need to go through customs first and then make our way to the airline?
In Detroit, so you should be checking in your bags and then going through security, but you wouldn't be going through customs in Detroit.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
That'll occur in Naples.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And make sure that the bags are checked to your final destination, which is Naples.
Yeah. Okay.
So make sure
Okay.
believe we had someone else that had a question.
I was just gonna say excuse me, last week on the final documents were, then when they were sent through and you were using the terminology, the e-ticket, so, and I just printed that off, but it's pretty much a standard, just printed copy, so that can just be presented at the airport. That's all we have
That's,
right now.
Yeah, you will still need to get a boarding pass. So
Right.
this is just your ticket. But yes, e-ticket, electronic ticket, you're not going to be receiving anything in the mail. This is what you're going to present.
Thank you. I just want to make sure this was the most quote official
Yep.
e-ticket that we'll receive then.
Yes.
yeah. That's as official as it gets.
Mhm.
Yep.
And as you say, when we check the bags, it would be all the way from, and we're leaving from like Washington, DC, Dulles Airport. So we're first going into Germany and then back to Naples. So we want our bags checked all the way to Naples then.
Naples to Naples.
Exactly. When you look at your e-ticket and you look at the e-ticket receipt number, you'll see
Yes.
that it's the same number for each leg of the itinerary. That means it's checked through to your final destination.
Thank you. Good.
Yes, and I can let you know that there is about 12 of you that are flying from Detroit to Frankfurt, and Deanna and Kathy are on that flight. So so they'll be there if you need assistance with anything, but you won't probably see them until you actually get to the gate, just so you're aware. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Regina.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to, it's a good idea. I don't know, many of you may do this already. It's a good idea to make a copy of your passport and carry that separately from your passport, and even leave a copy of it behind with someone at home. So have the passport copy, and any other of your, cards or, your any other of your important documents, make copies. And it's also a good idea to take a picture of your suitcase and have that in your phone with you. It's surprising. I've been in this situation myself, and been asked what my suitcase looks like, and I just couldn't remember whether it was black or green or what. So yes, it's a good idea to take a picture of the suitcase and have that on hand. Yeah.
Piggybacking onto that, if you are in the position where for any reason your luggage does not arrive, you want to make sure you submit a claim with the airline before you leave the airport. That has to be done on site. It cannot be done after the fact. So just a note on that.
Also, if you're traveling with another person, a good thing you can do is in each person's luggage, you put each other's clothing.
Split it.
So that if for some reason one does not make it, you at least have some clothes, from the other piece of luggage. Also, too, I always recommend this if you're planning on having any type of carry-on that has enough room, put a change of clothes in that as well, or anything that if you have a favorite pair of shoes or you have a favorite top that you like, just keep it with you. That way you won't be disappointed when your luggage comes up empty and you said, oh my God, my favorite top was in there. So that's what I always recommend for people to do. So anyway. I'll also mention too, just to add on, Deanna will be hosting a MSU reception that will take place on Saturday, October 14th. So not the day that you arrive, but the day after, and it will be at 6:30 in the Hotel San Francisco. I believe it's going to be in the garden area, but if for some reason there's a chance of rain, that location may change. So just so you know, there'll be a chance for you to all have a little cocktail together. But of course, there's also the welcome reception and the welcome dinner and all of that. And you're going to be together pretty much the entire time. It's always nice to have a little get together. So
yeah. I have another question. It doesn't, in the luggage requirements, it doesn't say anything about a personal item, I don't believe. It's got checked and carry
That would
on.
be your carry-on. Your carry-on is your personal item. Although I think for women,
Yeah, you can have
Yeah.
a purse too. You can
Yeah.
have a
You can have a
purse and
purse?
one- Yes.
So
Okay.
generally, it's what you can fit in the overhead bin and under the seat in front of you. So like a smaller bag under the seat in front of you. On the tour itself, the porters are going to take care of your checked bag per person. So anything above and beyond that you bring is your responsibility. So if you are bringing a a carry-on bag plus a purse or plus something else, just know that those will be your responsibility on the tour.
Sometimes hotels in Europe may not have working elevators, or just so keep that in mind too, that the porters will definitely handle your bigger pieces of luggage. But if you have something else, you may have to carry it upstairs. So.
yeah. And the bus, as I said earlier, the bus may not be able to get to you right to the door of your hotel, but that it may be parked a little further away, so you may have to walk some extra steps there too with your carry-on.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Any other questions?
One other question, just concerning in Venice, I've been told that, of course, it's different there just with all of the canals and everything, and there's no really automotive transportation. Yeah, but so I guess we'll just follow the instructions and whatnot on how to get along with that. Then let's say
Exactly how to navigate it. Yeah, it's quite an adventure for everyone, Venice, and Elizabeth will certainly be able to give you all the pointers and all the recommendations, and getting from point A to point B, and where you want to go and how to get back to.
right.
And there's forms of water taxis and things where you'll be maybe traveling on the water to get around as well.
Venice
Beautiful.
itself is small. It's not a large city that's very spread out. So the center of Venice is very navigable by foot because it is a pretty small footprint. So all of the main sites do tend to be really accessible from each other. And then, as Cheryl said, I mean, I guess it's a bit of a mind shift to think of
there's a lot
of your
twists and
taxi being on the
turns.
water, but that's how you have to kind of think about it.
Sometimes in the buildings they'll have arrows that will take
Mhm.
lead where you need to go, but there's a lot of twists and turns in Venice. But
Yeah.
We lost too many people, right, Martina?
Not too many.
Not too many, maybe one or two. But not.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, well, if you do, please let us know. We're happy to assist in any way we can. I will be sending out a link to this recording if for some reason there's something that you've forgotten that Cheryl mentioned or Martina mentioned. So I will go ahead and send you a link. More than likely it'll be tomorrow. It takes a little time for to process the video. So and if you have any questions, email me, give me a call too. I will try and get your questions answered, and hope you're looking forward to the trip. And yes, you have one more?
One quick question, real quick.
Mhm.
Of course, on everything that's been sent to us from Michigan State or Odyssey, talked about the baggage limit being 44 pounds. And when I got my e-ticket, though, with the airlines, and we're going to Lufthansa, it's saying 50 pounds.
You can go up to the 50 pounds. We say 44 pounds because it tends to be almost like the lowest common denominator across multiple destinations and multiple airlines, particularly those tours that have internal flights. But if your airline allows 50 pounds and the e-ticket would specify that, then you can go up to that.
All right, not that I wanted to press it or anything. But there might be
it's nice to have that little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, well, and it's important. You remember too, if you want to bring back souvenirs, you want to make sure you have some extra room too. So.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty, well, thank you again for attending, and I wish you all a wonderful time and safe travels.
Have a
Thank you
great
so
trip, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Have a great
Thank
trip.
you.
See you
Bye.
guys soon.
Thanks for your time.
Bye.
Bye.
Go green.
Go
Bye.
white.
There you go.
Right on.
Right answer.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.